pronunciation.
Bomoen. Bomoen.
Hello, hello, hello. Oh, what a mon. What's that? Oh, it's not a hickey. Don't you dare. I've got a clue. I haven't got a clue. I'm pretty red though, aren't I? Don't know what's going on. Anyway, anyway. Hi Mike, give me a message, mate. That's not great to hear that, mate. I'm really sorry. Thanks for coming in anyway and saying hello, but yeah, give me a message, please, mate. And if you want, obviously, no pressure at all. Just give me a message if you'd like to. But good to see you, mate. And I hope everything is okay. Just as I say, mate, just give me a message. Being there myself, mate, I'm up and down with me moods and me emotions and everything at the minute, so totally understand. I mean, obviously I don't understand what you're personally going through at all. I don't really like when people say I understand and I know what you're going through. People don't truly know what you're going through. They're not in your head. They don't understand. But I appreciate when people are there for you and can talk to you and stuff. People can go through similar things, but in your head, and if anyone has issues, always reach out. Well, I'm not going to start the stream with obviously that kind of thing, but you know, I'm a big person for mental health and sharing what I'm going through. I've done it throughout my times on YouTube and social media, so it's nothing new. But yeah, Ivan, good to see you, bud. Really nice to see everyone's in at the earlier time today. I do want to start doing these live streams at 7 PM as mentioned, because 7 PM seems to be the better time. It seems to, apart from obviously anyone over sort of in Australia, 7 PM seems to be a nice time. It seems to be from what I'm seeing so far on the channel, seems to be sort of the best time to go live. But obviously sometimes I'm not able to always go live at 7, so I do have to obviously change things up and such. But for everyone who's here today and here now at 1 PM, and obviously for people who are tuning in and rewatching the stream, hello and thank you. I've been up and down the stairs because earlier when I woke up there was an Antonov 124 heading over at about 35,000 feet. I actually got a picture of that, which was pretty cool. I've just missed my opportunity to see the Dreamliner Air Canada go from Manchester. I did get a pic, but it wasn't I missed it kind of coming towards me, which is what I wanted. So there's a couple of more going out while we're live on stream. I'll be very, very honest. Sometimes the whatchamacallits, the Iceland Airs do sometimes depart right over. And the Iceland Air is the 80 years of aviation livery going out from Manchester. It's actually taxiing out right now. It's the last time Manchester's going to see this aircraft, which is sad. But we also have a 350 Virgin heading out as well. So at the minute, guys, if these aircraft end up coming anywhere towards my house and over, you might see the stream go off for a second, for a few minutes, because I'm not missing them. I'm not missing them. I mean real world aviation photography, of course. I'm not just talking weirdly. Right, so what we're going to be doing today is just, again, taking the stream to a bit more of a chilled pace. When I mean chilled pace, I mean, you know, nothing as sort of, I don't know, like a new release and everything's hyped and mad and, you know, everyone's in the chat and what price is this, what's that, you know, when's it coming out. I just mean a chilled, nice stream. So we're going to look at some free airports available for the simulator. Some of them old, some of them new, some of them only being out for a day. Do you know what I mean? So we're going to, obviously, because some of them you might already have or downloaded, you might not be aware of them. Certainly the first one we're going to start with today is a very old freeware. It's compatible now with 2024, and I didn't have it installed. A lot of people recommend it. Plus, it also ties nicely into a payware of that scenery coming out. So, I also have a pre-recorded freeware video at sort of a top five, not a top five airports. I'm going to make it as a series, and hopefully I can keep up doing them, and I can keep on adding more. But I used to do that all the time, so that's one, be like episode 1 of these freeware videos. So that'll be out within the next week or so. Another unboxing as well. My latest unboxing is the Ursa Minor airline joystick by Winwing. That's live on the channel now. You can go and have a look at it. It's an unboxing video. It's, I would say, not really a setup and use video, so I wouldn't call it a review as well, but it'll show you a bit of the setup process and me using it. So, but it's mostly an unboxing to show you, you know, what unboxing that product's like. Also as well, big shout out to Logitech. Their G Days is their G Play Days is still running till the 29th of September. Loads of offers, things are going out of stock as well. I've been noticing the Logitech G Pro X2s Lightspeed, the ones I'm wearing now, so I'm completely wireless. It feels good, feels a bit more professional, I guess. But yeah, big shout out to Logitech for obviously sending these out to me so I can show them and do a video and do all that business so I can show you guys. Links for Logitech G Play Days is in the link in the description below, along with everything that I show today. Got a few to show you today, and we might obviously sort of, you know, slightly, I don't know, Miranda away from, I don't know if that's a word, Miranda, no. Like, we might swerve away from other things, from the list. We'll stick to the list, but we might, you know, go somewhere else as well. I don't know, we might do. So, without further ado, let's stop yapping, Brian, because you yap for far too long. But this is not too bad for some instances. What I do need to do is, the camera is a bit sort of, I don't know. So I think I've fixed. Let me just have a look. Yeah, so that's how you fix it. So obviously last week the camera feed, the visual of the webcam was off. That's because I was using OBS to basically, on the studio app for it, the studio thing for it, which doesn't seem to be open at the minute, so that's a bit of a pain in the bum. You can basically tell it to use the signal for other programs, and then you can select it in OBS. The best way to do it in OBS, I find, with this particular webcam, the EMEET PIXY, is to just select it as its own source, because if for some reason it does have delay on it, you can still move it, even though it's not down as one of the signals, so I'm going to move it a tiny bit, something like that. I usually have the webcam crop, but obviously the Logitech banner is a certain aspect ratio. Anyway. sorry. Let me have a little look, because I need to yeah, I do feel very unprepared today. I really apologize, guys. There's no reason for that, although I think I probably was kind of in a rush. So we are firstly we are at Lima Echo Papa Alpha, which is Palma de Mallorca, which is from EuroScene. Link for this one is in the description, again, with all the others. We do have to load into this because I was a tiny bit late getting everything set up for this one. So this is a 2024 compatible one, but it has been out for a fair amount of time. So yeah, we do still need to load up into it. That's what I was saying. I'm in a... I know I'm not showing it on screen just yet, guys, because we're not loaded in. I'm in a little Cessna 172, but please forgive me with that one. It's just purely just because I'm parking it on a remote stand. I'm also going to inject some traffic into this one today. Again, just because I feel like it. Just because I feel like it. I will be showing it on screen. I haven't forgot, guys. It's just want to make sure everything's set up, which again, I feel like I'm behind today. Here we go. We are in the cockpit of the Cessna 172 at some of the entrance gates to Palma. Let me just get the traffic on. And again, guys, if the stream stops, please stick with it. I have literally only ran down to the garden. The garden. Yes, the garden. To see if I can spot some planes, because the aircraft depart in Manchester are... I always miss them. I always end up missing them when they go in a certain direction out of Manchester. And lo and behold, it'll probably be today. They're actually back onto dual ops for the departures. I've completely... Oh, the Icelandair is going nowhere near me, so that's fine. The Virgin I might finally catch the Virgin. Right, okay. Sorry, guys. I do apologise. So I'll try and put chapters into this one, with it being a freeware video, because people like to skip, and I understand that. I tell you what, there's some... I don't know if these are injected by... They might very well be. No, they're not. These look like they're static models. They're static models. But there is some other ones here. Some Cessnas, some Citations. So the traffic you are seeing now is a FSLTL. Now, obviously, this is just for quickness rather than accuracy and stuff like that. One thing I haven't got is audio, which is a bit weird. And I don't think you guys will have any audio either. There's nothing to hear anyway at the minute, but there just doesn't seem to be any audio at all. Oh, I know why there's no audio. There we go. I had it turned down. So I do apologise again. See, I'm all at 6s and 7s at the minute. Right, anyway, this is Palma de Mallorca by EuroScene. It's linked in the description below. This one's been out for a long time, and it's probably considered one of the top freewares. It's definitely in the flightsim.to list of top freewares, but I'd never installed it. Now, disclaimer, when I first installed this, it did crash on me, but I'm not fully convinced it was the scenery. I'm convinced that it was all things I downloaded for other freeware sceneries. Don't know what that was. So I had a load of dependencies downloaded for other freeware sceneries. Now, everything that I'm showing today, I believe, do not need any dependencies. And what I mean by that is they don't need any other freeware libraries or sceneries or anything downloaded extra on top of it. I'm very aware that there's a lot of freeware sceneries that do need dependencies, and most dependencies, so for example, there'll be a 2024 freeware scenery, but it will have a dependency that is only compatible with 2020. So with that being the case, I've tried to leave everything out like that in the video today, because I downloaded, it must have been about 15 or 20 dependencies for other airports I wanted to show today. But again, I had a crash with this airport. Now, I don't know what those audio anomalies are. I think it might be flightsim.to. Flightsim.to. I think it might be FSLTL, but I couldn't be completely sure. So they only happening quite a lot. I don't know what it is. Could be FSLTL. But yeah, everything I'm showing really, they don't need dependencies. If they do, they are recommended dependencies where you don't strictly need them. But I don't think any that I'm showing today need anything extra downloading to them. I'm trying to stay clear of that because, like I said to you, some of the dependencies can be only 2020 compatible, but with a 2024 scenery. So it doesn't make any sense in that case. But in terms of Palma, the reason why I said the first one does obviously link up to a payware that we are going to get at some point is obviously, is it this one? Is it this one? I think it is. Mickey, good to see you, bud. Nice to see you in the live chat on a Sunday. A bit earlier, as I say, I am trying to make these around 7 PM. It's PGEEK that is doing this airport. I'm pretty sure it's this one. In fact, I'm positive. You guys can confirm in the chat. I think PGEEK's next airport scenery is going to be Palma, I believe. So it is nice to see. Obviously, many people already have this. I know I've spoken to a lot of community members, a lot of people over the years who have said they've already got this. It's the first time I've downloaded it, installed it, so this is why I'm going to show it, because this is kind of my first impressions of it. But yeah, for now, until we get obviously the payware scenery, I think for me, for my initial look around it, when I was taking the thumbnail screenshots, I was pleasantly surprised because there's a lot that's been done for this scenery. Again, the aircraft that you are seeing is FSLTL. They're not part of the scenery, although we do have some Learjets and some other things that seem to be part of the scenery, so I will point them out if we see any more. We do actually have some aircraft on the taxi, which is good to see, because FSLTL sometimes just doesn't work at all. Not too sure what's going on with the textures of the runway there. I think that's just a, when you zoom in with the drone camera, I think that's just a flight sim 2020 and 2024 thing anyway. Let me turn the audio down a bit, guys, because really all it is the ambient sounds. You're not really going to get any special sort of added sounds for these sceneries. Just the aircraft taxiing out at the minute. So again, if you are rewatching this stream later on on a different day, or a few hours after, I will put the airport into chapters, because obviously you know me, I do waffle on a bit. And again, if I do go missing, it's because this Virgin A350 has come my way, and it's come right over right over my house, because I never ever catch it when it's side on to me. I always catch it when it's either right over or it's backlit. So listen, if I go missing, guys, it's gonna be for 5 minutes or so, not even that. I don't really want to miss it. So apologies straight away. But yeah, this, I would say the terraforming or the landscaping for the road network, it's okay, but you know, I'm not going to really talk negatively about any freeware. It's a freeware. A person has spent time making it, and they've published it, and regardless of what it looks like, they've spent time doing it. Fair enough if it's a, you know, a silly little thing, and it you know, there was no reason for them to spend that time doing that. But even then, they've spent time making something, they've created, they've spent time to share it for free. So I can't talk negatively. The landscaping here, it's not too bad. I don't know if this at Palma is a flyover, like obviously, you know, a bridge, a flyover, you know, a road, an elevated road, or it is actually rock. But they've done a fantastic job to get the road above where it should be. And there is elements of this airport that you would probably think to yourself, actually, do you know what, that could pass as a payware. There's like a blend of custom buildings and then some of the autogen buildings I've noticed, but I think they work together nicely to sort of create the whole of Palma. We've got a custom control tower, a custom terminal. There is some interiors to this. In fact, there's quite a lot of interiors, which is mad to see. Even nowadays, some of the freewares don't come with interiors. In fact, some paywares don't come with interiors, so it is nice to see. And if you didn't see already on my Discord, I don't think I've shared it anywhere else. Look at that, is that a Jet 2 air tanker going out? Look at that. That'll be going off to Manchester maybe. Love to see it, love to see it. I don't think I shared it anywhere else, in fact, but if you are on my Discord, you might have seen I've actually started diving into the scenery creation tool and the SDK, and it's fun if you know what you're doing. It can be also quite frustrating, but I started making a little airfield, a little fictional airfield near to where I live, and it's pretty cool. I'm enjoying sort of diving into that and seeing what's possible. There's FSLTL showing it's not FSLTL, even just flight traffic and beyond ATC does that. So absolutely no negativity there, because it happens. That A350 ain't going over anywhere. Well, it is, but it's wrong side. It'll be backlit. It don't matter. It don't matter. So if you are joining today, a bit of an earlier start, but obviously if you're rewatching the stream, we're looking at some of the freeware sceneries that are available on flightsim.to. Every one of them is linked down in the description below. This is Palma de Mallorca, so that's Lima Echo Papa Alpha, on the little island, the fair-sized island of Mallorca. And I tell you what, the freeware is impressive. Actual custom models, so we've got custom models, custom signage like the Jet 2 signage. I am going to turn it down a bit more, guys. Just let me know if the aircraft sounds are a bit too much. I stay away from SDK, but I have to admit some people can do miracles with it. Again, mate, I've only just started looking into it, and as I say, I'm creating a little fictional airfield, nothing too mad. I'm just seeing what it's like to create the runways and the aprons, and right now I'm trying to figure out how to do taxiways. And yeah, it's quite fun to see it all come together. I'm going to spend a few days just not doing any editing or looking at airports or doing any flying. I'm just going to spend some time trying to create something that I can finally, because you have to then actually put it into the community folder and then load it up like any freeware scenery. Look at that, we've got a little Cessna going off there. They just seem to be going off any direction they want to at this point. Good to see though, good to see that the traffic's doing that. The airport though, guys, for getting distracted again. The airport is really, really good. We've got this kind of concrete sort of slab building. There's no sort of, you know, metal, you know, sheet metal, or it's like, you know, it looks like an actual concrete building, nothing too modern, but everything's there. There's glass, there's really good looking glass, there's an interior, look at that. Like an actual interior. Alright, things aren't modelled to the highest standard, and I don't even like to say that because we know this, but there's an interior to this freeware and it's a massive interior. The windows all work inside and out, so you're getting the textured windows from both sides, which is fantastic. The flooring's good, the chairs are good. Obviously there's no people in here, but listen, I'm not gonna sit there and say there's no static people in a freeware airport. The actual, look at the reflections on the windows. They managed to keep all the reflections. The amount of custom buildings as well. We've got is that a 767 United Airlines there on the gate? Fantastic. All of the custom jetway signage as well. The custom control tower from obviously Palma Airport, which I believe this looks exactly like it. Animated radar as well. We didn't actually take a look at the globaler hangar, which you can see is a custom, you know, a custard hanger. It's a custard hanger. Yeah, those custard hangers wouldn't last any time in the heat in Palma, would they? The custom hanger, the Air Europa hanger, all custom modelled. There's an actual massive big car park, multi-story car park full of cars. Again, they're the SDK cars, the ones that you can stick in there from the, you know, the standard assets you can get. And I've been looking at all that, so I'm kind of understanding what's something from. It actually helps, I think, as well. I didn't really look at it before, but going through the scenery editor and the SDK is actually helping when I'm doing videos or live streams like this, because I can identify. At the minute, you know, I've not gone through a lot, but I can identify what's a custom building being added and what's not, and what's part of the scenery. And do you know what, guys? When if you ever dive into the scenery editor, there's a hell of a lot in there. But just look at all the jetways, all the glasswork, the custom building itself, and then obviously if we turn this way, we also have the modern terminal section here. Look at this. It's fantastic. It's a really, and I've taken, as I say, I've taken some time to look at this because this has been available for a while and it is now compatible with 2024. It's a huge airport. It's going to be nice to see PIXY dive into something of this size. I don't know if he's done anything with a dual runway at this point. Not too sure. I don't think so. I could be wrong. I'm not going to say for definite, but I don't think PIXY has done anything with 2 runways. That Austrian A320 there doing a little fly past for us. Salute to you, sir. But if you look at the scale of Mallorca and the actual freeware itself, and again, I will say this, and unfortunately I do say it a lot in my pre-recorded freeware videos, but there's paywares that are not even on this level. Unfortunately, we can pay for sceneries and aircraft that aren't up to the standard of some of the freeware offerings. I mean, just look at fly-by-wise A380, for example. And again, look at this for an example of a well done freeware airport. There's even a helicopter apron here. There's actually, I wasn't aware, has Mallorca got a military apron as well? I think it has. Interesting. So obviously some static DC-6 on the apron here. I will have to just double check that, guys, because I actually didn't know. Not Palma Nova. What? Let's have a little look. So the runways aren't quite, well, they are parallel, but they're not, they're a tiny bit offset. So they're not completely flush to each other. Yeah, Palma does have an active military apron on there. Or at least it looks like it's active. Yeah, there's a military chopper there. That looks like one of those little Boeing C-29s, if I'm going to take a little guess. But and then it looks like it's not a 707, but it's a really old. Doesn't look like it's actually being used. If you look at it on the Google Maps, it's on a kind of, it's on its own sort of. Doesn't look like it's being used. It looks like a 707. It's not a 707. Maybe a variant of the 707. But yeah, I mean, as I say, I'm pretty sure this is the one that PGEEK is doing. I'm pretty certain it is. He has got a task. It'll probably be one of his biggest he's done, if not the biggest. He's got all this area. We've even got a VOR station here, and I've just spotted something else as well. All the apron lights, there's actually a full barrier around them as well. Really nicely done. Again, you may have seen this before, guys. This isn't a, oh, what's he doing? Where are you going? Anyway, yeah, I mean, this is not a new scenery. This has been out for quite some time. As I say, it is now compatible with 2024, but this is my full first impression of it. Well, I was in it getting thumbnails, of course. Look at this little section here. I'm not too sure what this is all about. I'm intrigued to see what that is depicting, to be honest with you. So it looks like it's used again. That looks like it's, yeah, it's depicting the fire training facility, and there's two aircraft there. What looks like a MD-80, and then one that's just like sort of a training one. But they've got part of an old MD-80, MD-82 there, which actually says Aeroporto Palma de Mallorca on it. But that's right there. So that's what that's depicting. So they've just used the sort of the default assets for that. They haven't gone and done any sort of custom modeling, which again, I can appreciate even more now with actually diving into the SDK and the scenery editor, because there's a lot to it, and even just making taxiways is just blowing my mind at this point, because it's not the easiest thing. But I tell you what, for a freeware, it's linked in the description below if you're interested in downloading it. Is that a lovely, is that a Condor 75? Oh yes it is, look at that. little bit of virtual plane spotting as well for you guys. I've just actually missed the Condor, the A330 Neo. It was at a really good position, and and it was the blue striped one as well, which is dead easy to see. But yeah, this is a really well done freeware. Look at the amount of ground clutter in this space. Performance is fantastic. Absolutely no spikes or lags or anything to report with this one. It's quite hard to show people that on live streams because obviously there's quite a lot that can be contributing to any stutters or anything. You know, it could be OBS, it could be the fact that we're live streaming. Yeah, Europa 737 there. Again, all this has got an interior. All custom modelled. Let's just quickly go this way because I want to see the Air Europa hangar. We've got this is where you'll get like a blend of sort of default assets, so you can actually hand place all these. So again, something I'm learning with the scenery editor, you can hand place all these. It's daunting, but you can do it. Especially all the I mean, look at the amount of cars. Again, these are all ones that come with the scenery editor, but there's a lot of cars and performance is great. The Air Europa hangar, again, all of the actual real world decals and text on there, and it's a pretty detailed hangar as well for the freeware. Really good. Be interesting to see if we'll have a look at it before we move on with the night lighting, of course. I can't say much about that at the minute. Notar. At the minute, I'm just messing about. Who knows what it could turn into. In my head at the minute, I've got some ideas, but I'm learning it by watching some stuff on YouTube, by reading things. I'm actually learning some things just by using Chat GPT. Weirdly enough, I'm not a big one for AI, but I thought to myself, okay, I can't find something online, or I can't find anything on YouTube that is visually showing me how to do taxiways. So I asked Chat GPT, and it told me how to do it, and I was like, break down really well, step by step. So let's see how it goes. I've always, not just now, I've always envisioned myself with the fact that the channel has always started off by looking at airport sceneries and reviewing them, and obviously if I'm doing any kind of freeware or payware airport video, it's generally airport scenery. I feel like I can contribute more to sceneries than aircraft. In particular, if I'm looking at an aircraft, it will most likely be a trailer for an aircraft where I can fly it and get used to doing certain things. The bare minimum of being able to do a trailer for an aircraft, that's never something I've hid from the community, is that if I'm doing a trailer for an aircraft or an airport generally, or a video for airport, or a live stream for an airport or whatever, I'm generally better at giving more advice about an airport or being a bit more detailed. I can't give you in-depth systems and analysing or details about a certain aircraft. I learn aircraft on a needs basis. Basically, there's some aircraft that I can fly and I'm comfortable flying anyway. It's kind of like gotten like a bike at this point where I just don't forget it. But then there's others that I'm just like, I'll learn them and then I'll completely forget them when it comes to the next one. So yeah, let's see how it goes. It would be great to get to a point where I'm potentially making some basic stuff and I'm doing stuff like that, but it's not a big plan of mine. It's something that I've always looked at. For me, I'd like to create some fictional things that are personal to me at the minute. That's what my idea is, and that's what I'm doing while I'm learning. Anyway, look at the quality of the terminal here. I got a little CRJ. Oh, that's been replaced straight away with a louder. FSLTL in this particular airport's not the greatest, I'd say, guys. It could be a combination of the Freeware and FSLTL, but the modeling and even the texturing on this custom building, again, Freeware, is brilliant. I think it's been done to a really great standard. I mean, it's Freeware. It's, you know what I mean? Mickey, I just saw your message there, mate. The tower doesn't have an interior, I don't think. Let me just have a little look. I don't think it does. It doesn't, mate, which is a bit weird for me because obviously EuroScene, the creators or the creator, has spent time doing some interior modeling to the terminals. I would say the control tower. Look at that. That's not bad. Look at that. Alright, we don't have any shops or animated static people or anything like that, but this is what I'm saying. I mean, these freewares are and again, this, I know this is an old one, but they're getting so detailed. That looks fantastic. But yeah, Mickey, I would say, yeah, for me, I when it comes to reviewing things or making a video looking at things and giving my sort of analysis, I think airport has always been my thing anyway, the scenery part of things. And I think that goes from back in the past when I was building stuff on, like, and it's completely different, but building stuff on Roller Coaster Tycoon, Planet Coaster and stuff like that. Just having the particular sort of details and hand-placed things and seeing where a creator has really spent some time. So yeah, definitely airport and sceneries. That's where I wouldn't say excelling, but that's my area of expertise when it comes to the simulator and making videos. Sure, I can make convincing trailers for aircraft, and I enjoy doing it. But to do that, I spend a couple of days learning how to fly the aircraft very basically, nothing too mad. And then I try and film a trailer, and yet sometimes it's bloody annoying. It gets to the point where I'm like, oh my god. And I really want to have a smooth touchdown in this aircraft, and I can't just get there, but it is what it is. There's many creators on YouTube who are absolutely amazing at showing aircraft in the simulator, flying them in depth. You know, there's creators on here who are actual pilots. They're the guys who you'll want to go if you're interested in an aircraft release and you want to see the virtual aircraft being used, whether it's a really good representation of that aircraft. Those are the guys to go and check out. EasyJet Sim Pilot, Into the Blue simulations. Two-Tone Murphy is fabulous at flying aircraft, and he has got quite a massive knowledge of that. Av Angel as well. She's been doing this a very, very long time. The guys, there's absolutely loads of creators who are the best people to go and check out aircraft. And I'm not saying I'm the best creator at looking at airports, but what I'm saying is this is my area of where I think that I'm more comfortable in. Not by watching this stream, of course. It looks like I haven't got a bloody clue, but bear with me. But like I said, guys, if you are joining the stream or you are watching the stream after, please do leave a like. If you're tuning in for the very first time, consider subscribing. Again, if you are rewatching, I will stick chapters in this one because it is one of those videos where chapters are necessary. But if you are just tuning in, we are looking at, look at that, look at the timing. Palma de Mallorca, the freeware by EuroScene. It's linked in the description. Absolutely free. It's a freeware, of course. From flightsim.to. Everything that we're looking at today in this live stream is from flightsim.to. And the other ones, the other freewares in this video, not as big as Palma. In fact, this is the biggest you'll see today. But the next few are just as detailed, in my opinion. And all of the next ones, I think, are pretty new. Obviously this one being I think a couple of years old now at this point. The next couple I think are brand new ones. Let's have a little look over here because we do have some detailing. Again, a little bit more landscape and something that again I'm definitely not going to be looking at when I'm messing about with the scenery editor. It looks like a Ryanair lifting off there. Look at that. It's a fabulous freeware. Again, this is the first time I'm having a good look around it. And keep in mind it's a massive airport. And we do have obviously PIXY working on this one. This is his next one. I think one of his biggest, if not the biggest he's done. But for now, I think this will be the one to use if you are looking for a substantial and detailed Palma to fly in and out to. Even down to we didn't look at the sort of the taxiways and the runways, which are also done pretty well. There's a lot of different changes in tarmac, and these are definitely default runways. I can tell you that for nothing because you can do this. I actually looked through this one with all the different markings on it and stuff. But yeah, I might even do a video series, either a live stream series or a pre-recorded series of looking at the SDK and creating an airport. I think that's probably going to be interesting to some people. The custom runway signs are also really good. Again, I'm assuming these are going to be mostly available through the SDK, but it's pretty well done. If you look at it there, I mean, if you looked at it right there, then you would be convinced that's a payware, in my opinion. And again, look at this, even down to this. Ooh. Even down to this. This is something that, again, not many payware sceneries get right. This kind of making a tunnel. Sometimes they look terrible. It actually looks really good. Taxiway, again, I think this is something that you can use in the scenery editor. It's all, there's so many menus you click on and click off, and it would be great if there was some kind of external program to, or even just a an extra place in the simulator you could go, and creating airports was a bit easier. And I know probably scenery editors and scenery creators will probably say, and then you get everyone doing them, but I don't think that's an issue. I think if everyone had an opportunity to create something of their own, I think it would be pretty good. They're all going to be at different levels, aren't they? You know, people can go in and use Blender to create their own actual terminal, do you know what I mean? So it's not always going to be the same, in my opinion. So we're going to move on now. We're going to move on to some more airports, and I think all these are in America now. I think all of these in America, and they are a lot newer. So we'll have a look at those. In the meantime, if you get deeper into it, you'll end up doing ground poly work in Blender, not DS. Yeah, probably will. Blender being a free program, I've been in Blender once or twice for some things I've done for virtual reality in the past. So it could end up being like that. But right now, I am just looking at the scenery editor. I'm learning a few things here and there. I think I was up to like 5 in the morning, 5 a.m. The other morning, just had the scenery editor in front of me, and I was just clicking away and seeing what worked, seeing what didn't, and I just found it fun. It was weird. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I am going to stop FSLTL now because we don't necessarily need it for these airports. And I'll be honest with you, I need to find out what airports they are, because I've got all the codes. So what I've done in the list below is include all of the airport codes as well. I know FlightSim.to likes it when you put codes in there rather than type it. So we've got a couple coming up. We've got 2 coming up from the same editor now. Sorry, the same creator. First one we're going to is near New York. We're going to Kilo Mike Tango Papa Montauk. There'll be a better way to say that, but I know in Friends when they were saying Montauk, they use that accent, I guess, that way of pronouncing it. We're in the Cessna 172. Let's get you back on there. So this is where we are. Right at the end of there, we've got obviously Manhattan over here. I think this is Long Island, I believe. I think. Kennedy, Long Island. The Hamptons over here, Montauk, and then Block Island State. So this is another freeware, and this one, again, it's not big. If you look at it, decent sized general aviation runway, but it's kind of the intricate and just, it's just very, very nicely done, and it's a lovely little airport if you're a general aviation flyer. A lovely little airport to spend some time at, and this one's also good for having a little walk around and exploring on foot, because quite a lot of the surrounding scenery is done. Again, I will be putting chapters into this live stream because obviously some of it was me chatting away chatting away like I do. Right, where are we? Have I just missed a 777 going over? Pretty much. Righty, so there's me in my military gear. Still haven't changed that from when I was doing the Azure Poly, the C160 video. But yeah, here's our lovely Cessna. What we can do is see, this is the issue I'm having. This isn't to do with the freeware. This is to do with the last sim update. Everything just takes a bit longer to load in the textures, but we can definitely have a little walk around here. it's really nicely done. I would say, again, this is negativity where it doesn't need to be. There's a few bits of landscaping and the apron textures feel like they've been scaled up. Again, this is just me looking at being able to look at the SDK recently in Scenery Editor, but these feel like, I think what they've done, and this is just a guess, is that they've scaled the apron textures up. If you can do that, I'm not even sure you can, but there is a lot of customization you can do in there. But these particular, the cracks and stuff, the tarmac and stuff, it doesn't look like the normal texture one. They're a lot smaller. Could be wrong on that, but again, it's a freeware, guys. I hope that the developer does come along and fix some of these things. Now, I know when I was putting my apron in, I can't find a good way to keep everything flat. Sometimes the apron has bumps in it and stuff. So again, it's not something that I'm overly critical about. I don't like to be overly critical with freeware because, again, it doesn't matter what standard it is. That it's a community member, a creator spending some time and giving us their rendition of an airfield or their fictional rendition of an airfield. And it does take time. It really does. I'm looking at. I'm basing it off what I've done so far and how much time it took. And I've only put the runway in and put the apron in. And now I'm flicking around looking at hangars and car parks and fencing. I'm thinking, yeah, this takes. And I can only imagine. I have a massive appreciation I have a massive appreciation. I already did for creators anyway, and how long it takes them and the difficulties. But when you get into the scenery editor, guys, you start to get an idea of how long sceneries take. So listen, if you're ever in a position where you're saying to even an aircraft developer, it's taken so much time for you to get this airport or aircraft out, what's going on, please just try and take a step back and think. It takes time. It's not simple. And guys, if Asobo and Microsoft ever see this live stream, please think about making some kind of program or the scenery editor a bit more drag and drop. It kind of already is, but just, yeah, because, man, I understand, really do. I can understand why scenery, people who are making custom models face even more difficulties, and then it takes them maybe 14 months to get each of their sceneries out. Anyway, this one, again, there's a lot of sort of intricate details. There's signs, there's bins, there's fences. Cars, it's a small airfield, but I think just the area that it's in and the way it's being done, it's just very homely and quaint, and it's really, really nicely done. It'd be cool to kind of, I don't know if any small private jets come into this airport. I think the runway certainly would allow it, but I'd love to experience this as an arrival and departure. Really, really nicely done. The door, for example, with like the little mesh on it. So before we get back to the hangar, I just want to take a look at the other ones. Again, this one's a newer one, and this is from EMBcreations. I've got two. The other one that I'm having a look at, I've never seen at all. This is I have been to this one because I had a look at. I took one of the thumbnails here. But I haven't been to the second one, which is newer, even newer. I think this is a couple of weeks, maybe a month old, maybe. But this is a fairly new scenery, this one. And again, I'll be taking another look at another scenery they've done, which is a more recent one, maybe even only a week old, maybe a couple of days. Then I'm going to end with one which I've seen recently. I think it's fairly new, but there's some interesting little details in it, and I want to look at it and see. So this is what you've got in terms of the sort of surroundings and the airfield itself. Now, I am intrigued. I want to see what can I spell this correctly? Yeah, I can. I'm just curious to see what the airfield there does seem to be quite a lot of trees around it, and to be very, very honest, all this with the stones and the rough terrain, the gravel, looks like it's all there. It actually looks like it's all there. It also looks like they possibly had another runway or some kind of, yeah, it looks like they had another runway here. I'll show you that in a minute because you can partially see it. But they have a really, really narrow taxiway all the way to the end and all the way back round again. Which again, for a sort of an airfield airport this size, you would maybe only have a taxiway coming down to one end, and then obviously you would have to backtrack. But it's got a full taxiway here. But I was wanting to see the tree situation. Now there is trees by the looks of it in between the runway, the taxiway, and as close here. So for pilots, this is not an easy runway to land at, I guess. I mean, a visual approach, an approach into this airport is quite flat. It's mostly above water each side, so they might encounter some winds possibly. But again, looking at it, you know, lovely surrounding terrain, lovely place to be, I'd imagine. But the width of what the pilots have got with this one, again, they wouldn't be landing on this runway with something, because, you know, an aircraft with a big wingspan. But you know, that is pretty narrow. Well, I'd say what I mean by narrow is narrow with the trees running down each side. It's very off-putting, I'd imagine. Again, massive hello to everyone who is tuning in live today. It's a bit early. I want to do live streams at around 7 p.m. I think we've kind of decided on that now. It seems to be the better time to do them. Today is just purely family commitments. I can't do a later live stream today, unfortunately. I would have liked to. Again, I'm going to try and schedule all live streams for around 6, 7, mostly 7 p.m. But yeah, again, if you're rewatching, you can jump around with the chapters included. I will get those chapters done as soon as the live stream goes off air. And yeah, if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe, because there is more to come. I've got 2 pre-recorded videos, got another unboxing, I've got another video. There's more to come. There's going to be some more live streams looking at some brand new airports, including, hopefully, fingers crossed, builds Cape Town and Wolf Fang, which is the Antarctica runway, which is included for free with the. I don't know if it's included free with Cape Town, or it's a separate. They've said it's free, so I think it might be separate. But if you do end up getting the Cape Town scenery, it's a fairly straightforward flight right over to the Antarctic from Cape Town. A little bit of a weird, like, stuttering meltdown there, but got this lovely boat on the trailer here. And as I say, the scenery itself doesn't just come with the airport. There is a bit of surrounding detail done with this one. This sort of, it's weird. It's like it's an aircraft hangar almost, but I think it's more of a boat hangar, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's really nice detail. Now, I don't know if this particular, let's have a little look, shall we? I don't know if it mentions it. There is a 2020 version of this, by the way, guys. I have linked the 2020 version just underneath the link for the 2024. It says 2024 edition. You can't get mixed up with this. So there is a 2020 version of this exact airport. Let's have a little look and see. Because I just want to double check. So yeah, there's a lot of ground texture and a lot of photogrammetry that's being corrected by the looks of it as well. Corrected overexposed ground textures on and around the airport area. Removed all photogrammetry trees and replaced with 3D trees that are more natural to the area. So that's pretty good. Again, I'm not too sure how... there is a thing in the scenery editor where you can... basically exclude trees and by the looks of it exclude photogrammetry, and I can only imagine all these trees here had photogrammetry trees wrapped around them. So when you go on to flightsim.to to give you a better idea, if you see any files or downloads that have like they say like tree fixes or photogrammetry fixes, you can go into the scenery editor and spend time excluding a lot of things that you can then basically export to a community folder file that you can then obviously upload to flightsim.to or send to anyone, and it will fix things that should really be fixed anyway. Let's not get into that. Let's not get into that. But yeah, that's why you have things like tree fixes and photogrammetry fixes, because you can spend spend time. You can go on YouTube and actually find tutorials to do that. So you don't necessarily have to go on there as a scenery creator and make things and make airports. You can go on there and just provide the community with exclusion zones and stuff, which is pretty good. Fix several gaps and holes around the airport. Remove photogrammetry specks in the water, which is pretty cool. I see quite a lot of that. It features 3D custom buildings created in Blender. Again, something you don't always find on freeware. Signage is all done. So I think some of this is all custom built. I think this little hut is here. Some of it's auto-generated, which you can see here. That's an auto-gen. But yeah, I think EMBcreations have spent some time. Again, obviously all the fencing here, all of the little trailers with the boats on them and stuff. By the looks of it, though, they've spent some time fixing a lot of the surrounding photogrammetry and texture work, which is fantastic. They haven't just come to create an airport. Yeah, this looks like a custom building here. I'll tell you what, I'm getting a lot of slowdown here in this particular area. It might be the extra boats. We are obviously next to a lot of photogrammetry areas as well, which it's not the best photogrammetry. You'll find that some areas of the world, the photogrammetry is spot on. It looks really, really good, even from a low altitude. Like I said, this will be available to watch afterwards as well with chapters. I keep on saying that. Sorry, guys. I just know that I waffle on a bit, so you might want to skip to certain airports. But again, it's New York based. It might not be somewhere where you fly in the sim. But I tell you what, if you fly general aviation, then this is definitely a lovely little place to go. Let's see if this is an animated flag. I don't think we've got any wind, have we? Don't think it is. But again, it's not something I'm really. Even with payware, I don't expect everything to be fully animated. But again, you know, if you are paying for a very detailed scenery, you expect the very best, in my opinion. It's a lovely crafted little airport. I would say, if EMB ever watch this, get rid of that if you can. Don't know if you can get rid of photogrammetry buildings. trees by the looks of it, you can. But photogrammetry buildings definitely get rid of that. It looks like a bouncy castle at this point. There's the custom sign. Montauk Airport, New York's easternmost airport, visitor and transient parking. Lovely little airfield. I saw this on flightsim.to, and I think I saw it on... Did I see it on VR Sim Dad? VR Dad Sim? I think he's flown here. Pretty certain of it, actually. Really, really nicely done. Again, the hangers, the wood hanger. And what I meant before when we were looking at Palma, and I said obviously for me looking at scenery goes back to me creating scenery with Planet Coaster and Coaster Tycoon. I used to spend time, and this is a good spot to look at, doing all the terrain editing. Why have I got noise and more walking noises? Can you hear that? Oh, it's the sock. It's the sock. It's not me walking. It's the sock. I thought it was me walking, but I'm in drone mode, so I don't know how that was happening. But yeah, sorry, I was speaking about like the terrain detail. I used to, before I'd even made rides and roller coasters, I'd spend time putting all the rocks and all the plants and foliage and trees and grass down and create a really convincing theme park. So this is why I feel like when I'm doing airports, I'm always like really particular about the level of detail. Not particular in a bad sense, like I'm, you know, being negative towards it. I just mean like if you've ever seen any of my videos and live streams looking at airports, you'll be like, wow, this guy's a bit too full on when he's looking at airports. Getting excited about rocks and fences. No, it's not. It's just, as I say, I get a bit too into the finer details and the noise sign. All of the detailing here is really, really nice. Again, I think that the aprons and the runway textures have been scaled up. I think they have. I could be wrong, but it looks like the landscaping here with the rocks. Now, I don't know if these rocks are part of default scenery. I know they can be, but I don't know if these have been sort of hand placed in to create this location of the airport, which does on Google Maps look like it's full of gravel and rocks and things like that. And as I said, it looks like there was an intersecting runway or taxiway of some kind. You can see it just going across here. I'd have to have a look on Google to see, but it looks like it did have another runway going across there. It's pretty interesting. Again, just the surrounding areas, the trees, the bits of water here. Really, really nicely done. Right onto the beach there, look at that. I don't know how busy this airport is, but certainly if you're on the beach having a little sunbathe and suddenly a little private jet flies right over, that would be pretty cool. Little track going off on the beach there to the actual airport. That's pretty cool, that, isn't it? A little bit of a slowdown there. I think that's just because of the water and the amount of foliage and trees around. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I wish there was a slew mode for the avatar. I don't think there is. I hope there isn't, because I've been doing this all the time. If you do rewatch the stream or you're watching now, please let me know, because I'd like to know if there's an actual slew mode that I can just pick the avatar up and do that. But I've taken off from a beach before in a Cessna. Blackpool, I think, or Southport. But yeah, look at this. We can go for a little walk over the sand dunes. Right down the little footpath. Just running. I need to get out of these military uniform, don't I? Look at this. Apart from this tree being right in the middle here. Little walk in Montauk with you guys. Little sand footpath going round here. Look at this. This is something I don't do in this flight sim, is use the walking mode, and I really should. I remember, obviously, Flight Sim 2024 released when I wasn't doing any of the YouTube stuff, and I was pretty certain I would never come back to YouTube, really, but here we are. Here we are. And I remember seeing the walking mode, and I was like, that's pretty good. I'd like the idea of that. Look at that. Whether you can actually do that and there's no fencing on there, I don't know. But there you go. You can apparently walk right out. And then there's a bench. There we go. Look at that. I don't know whether there's... again, super intrigued to see if there's a... Where's me mouse gone? There we go. Is there any... Surely there's some fencing. Do you know what? Weirdly, it looks like that pathway does exist, and it looks like there is 2 benches at the end of the runway. Have they got some kind of weird law in America? I know obviously the Polder Barn in Amsterdam doesn't have any fences around it, but there's a actual like a little river, isn't there, each side, so it's pretty hard to sort of start jumping into there. But apparently, yeah, you can just go down that path and have a sit on a park bench and watch the planes. That would be pretty cool. There's our footsteps in the sand there, look at that. Flight Sim Open World Simulator 2024 flight car simulator. I don't know at this point. I mean, there's so much going on with it. So much going on with it. I still have feelings that could we possibly take off from here? I mean, yeah, we could if we took everything off. We've got a bit of time to do it. We've got 2 more airports to look at. One more from EMBcreations, which again is a newer scenery of theirs. I think it's the newest, most recent scenery. And another one in Norway. Actually, we're in Norway for the last one. Oh, my CHOC's still here, because that's one thing I always do with the Cessna. I rev it up and think to myself, why isn't this thing moving? We could, if we turn around, we could possibly get off on this runway. On this sand runway. Also, we are using Echo 19's sound pack as well, so you'll get to hear that if you haven't already heard it. Sorry guys, got a real bad itch on my nose. I'm not going to do any taxi and runway lights because, well, clear prop. Lovely sounds, love this. Still waiting for all this to be aligned, but honestly, want to just get out of here. Oh! Did not see that. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. That didn't happen. Oops. Oops. Clearly, this probably ain't gonna go well. This is gonna flip, isn't it? Oh no, we might not. Didn't even have any flaps either. Should have put the flaps up there. You didn't see me flip the plane on the beach. It didn't happen. I'm going to chapter that out. I'm going to cut it out. Lovely, lovely part of the world, this. Lovely part of the world. The ground section's fantastic, isn't it? So as we make our turn around, we're going to come in on the same direction, just because obviously it'll allow us to go all the way down to the apron. We'll get down and we will get to our next freeware airport, which is another EMBcreations. Again, this is linked in the description along with everything else that I'm showing today. There's two versions of this, the 2024 version and the 2020 edition. Again, fantastic to see some of the freewares coming with both 2020 and 2024 editions, which again is not always the case. You don't always find developers doing that, even free payware developers. Turn that down a bit. If you are watching, watching the stream, obviously, please consider subscribing if you are if you're a first-time watcher, or if you've been watching for a while and you just haven't subscribed. I really would appreciate it. We are making our way to 4,000 subscribers, which is again something that I didn't think would ever happen. For me, I don't really have any as a I guess a part-time creator. I know that I'm quite active, but as a part-time creator, I would say my only real goal with YouTube is just to keep on showing flight sim aviation things to people and helping the community out. Obviously, in terms of views, I used to be very, very committed to the views and very particular and always concerned, but honestly now it's just I'm getting the videos out and I'm spending some time creating them, and I enjoy doing that. And it's just nice when one person goes, "You've helped me," and that's all that matters. But in terms of subscribers, this is where I actually think, do you know what? I really, really want to sort of break through and try and just get out to as many people as possible and have a sort of bit of slowdown there on approach, just a more of a community base really, to sort of grow social media and YouTube and Discord. So that's not too bad. I wouldn't say it was the best landing, but yeah, I would say in terms of subscribers, yeah, I'm always keen to keep on building the sub base and the follower base, but again, that is purely so I can build up sort of the community around my, I guess, network of pages. get to know more of you, get to know more of you guys, and where you know, where you are in the world. I'm seeing a few people who are commenting recently who are actually from my neck of the woods, and it's pretty cool to see. So yeah, if you're not subscribed, then obviously dropping a sub will be fantastic. Get joined in on the Discord server, get joined in on any of my social media pages that I've got, which is quite a few at this point. Everything's updated, you won't miss anything if I'm uploading or live streaming. But yeah, let's head off to another EMBcreations freeware. That's fantastic. I love Montauk, it's really cool. Again, leave your support by leaving a like. Also as well, you will notice some additions like the Logitech sort of overlay and the badge in the top corner over there. Because I have teamed up with Logitech, not teamed up, I am collaborating with Logitech for the G Play Days, which is, for me guys, listen, it's having all this business. You know, I don't like over cluttering things, but when Logitech obviously asked creators to get involved in Play Days this year, I was like, you know what, I'd love to, and they accepted me. And listen, that's a big thing. It's Logitech, they're a massive company, and I already used it. I think it's the G502, the G502 mouse. I already used that. I've used the old Logitech, where is it, in the background there on the desk, on the shelves, all sad and lonely, the old the Pro GX. You know, I've used that for years, and the fact that they then obviously sent me the new GX2s, the Lightspeed out, I had to get involved. So that's what that is. Play Days, get your deals in. If you want a Logitech item upgrade or your first one, links are in the description, guys. Little plug in there for Logitech. You're welcome, guys, you're welcome. Right, let's have a look. We are going to KHOC. We're going to it's not KHOC, we're going to KHOC. So Kilo, Hotel, Oscar, Charlie. That's where we're going next. And this is the latest one. So there is no there's no 2020 edition for this. I don't believe this is just a 2024 one. So we're a bit further out. We're still over on the east, kind of. So we were over here, now we're over here. We're in Highland, Highland Co, but I don't know what its Co is for. It also said Hillsborough as well. Notice this has come back as well. I don't know if this is just a server or connection issue, whether I've just low internet speed or something, but it takes ages to load in. So this one, decent sized runway straight off the bat. I've not been to this one at all. So the next two of these airports I'm showing you today, not been to them at all. So full first impressions. One here, and then we're over in Norway, which is one I've seen. The Norway one keeps on popping up on flightsim.to, and I'm like, I need to have a look at it, because the screenshots that it shows, I'm like, that looks pretty mad. So I'll have a little look at that at the end. This one does look to have some more static aircraft as well. Let's park we actually also have some hangar starts as well, which is nice to see. Let's park on a military cargo. I don't think it's a military cargo, but 9 in the morning. Let's have a little look at this. Now, there's a few different versions of this, I believe. Not 2020 and 2024. But I'll show you what it is in a second. Hopefully it loads in pretty sharpish. This is an old monster, but my throat's getting dead sore. Who likes that, by the way? The Lando Norris monster. Shouldn't really drink much of it, to be fair, but oh well. I enjoy it. It's nice. It's a weird flavour. People are saying kiwi and lemon, and I think I agree with them on that one. So this is Highland. It's called Highland Airport. Kilo Hotel Oscar Charlie over in the US. Let's get into drone mode. I keep on going that side from my stream deck. It's over here. So this one's a bit more substantial in size. Now, what I meant by different versions, as you can see, we've got some actual sort of, I don't think this is scenery foliage. I think this either is part of the SDK or custom place. But on the download page, you can go for two versions of this. I think it's one without a cornfield and one with a cornfield. And as you can see, right next to the runway, we have a massive, massive cornfield, which seems to kind of render in at last minute. Again, not too sure if these are part of the scenery editor and you can just pop them in. Like, you know, default foliage. But as I say, you can download the scenery with or without this. Now, I'd imagine these grow throughout the year, so it's not going to be a seasonal thing you can change, unfortunately. I'm also seeing this weird kind of shadow that goes over it, but I can forgive that because, tell you what, performance is spot on and there's a lot of corn. You could go into walking mode and get really freaked out in the middle of the night, couldn't you? In fact, we will do that at some point in this live stream. We'll do that. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Imagine going there on online mode with your mates on a community flight and just a certain time of night. To be honest with you guys, I've just realised I didn't even do night lighting on Mallorca, did I? Oh man, Jesus God. I'll try and come back to it at the end and just oddly put in a chapter where I'm back in Mallorca looking at the night mode. We also didn't look at the night on the last one either. So listen, guys, I apologise. I do apologise. I'm terrible. This is why a pre-recorded video of these types of videos or streams is probably better because I won't forget to show the night lighting. Although that might be a lie because I'm pretty certain I do not check the night lighting in my next pre-recorded freeware video. Oh man. Oh, listen, just ignore me. But yeah, look at that. We've got open hangars with some space for your own, and then we've got some lovely looking default aircraft stuck in there with all the pilots just sitting in there weird, just very oddly, just sitting in there. It's a bit weird. But again, fantastic looking freeware. Some terrain elevation going on here as well. Little hills up. Some maybe telegraph poles, electric poles with the perimeter fencing and gates as well. You know, I like to see the perimeter fencing in the sceneries, even so much in freeware when you're seeing that level of detail. It's, you know, it's one of those sort of traditional looking municipal airports over in America. I've never been, but I just love to be able to just, you know, travel around America and go to all these little American airfields, man. There's even a little it's like a little smart car in there as well. That's a more detailed default car I think you can add in. I need to find those in the scenery editor. I'm not too sure where they are. All the hangars are completely open. They have got some cars and aircraft in them, but there is some spaces for yourself in there as well. Hey, I tell you what. Again, it looks fantastic, doesn't it? Ooh, look at these. I'll have to see if I don't know if these are custom cars. I don't think they are. That one kind of mimics a Corvette. This one is definitely a Mercedes. It's like Grand Theft Auto. It's like all the fake cars, isn't it? In Grand Theft Auto, but they look like real cars. Like that's definitely a Corvette. That is kind of an Aston Martin at the front, but a Mercedes SLK at the back. But again, those cars, I need to look and see if you can get these on the actual scenery editor, because look how look how stupidly detailed they are inside. So I think what's happened here, obviously, because in the last one and the Montauk one, there was no there was like the normal default cars like these ones, but look, if you add, there's actually motorcycles as well now. Again, we saw this in my, if you go back in my actual pre-recorded video about the, not so much the hidden airports, but the unmarked default airports that are a bit more detailed, you'd see stuff like this. Like motorbikes and kind of more detailed cars being added into, well, default airports. We've actually got some static people now as well. I think we did before, but only 1 or 2. He is completely... It's like the very first FIFA. Like FIFA, not very first FIFA, but FIFA 99. That's what they look like in FIFA 99. These guys are a bit better. You can actually see she's got her hands on the fence as well, which is a little cool detail there. Gaia Simulations top, so possibly part of the default scenery editor, because I see a lot of the Gaia Simulation stuff in there. Decent sized hangar. But again, it's just a lovely little, you know, quite a detailed airfield, and I think most of the assets in here, most of the buildings, the fencing is all possible because of the SDK. As far as I'm aware, some might be custom built like in Montauk with like the wood hangers, but some of this I would say is default. But again, it's a freeware. It's, you know, you've got absolutely nothing to lose. If you don't want to keep it in and think to yourself, I've wasted some money, you haven't. And to be honest with you, I don't even think you're going to waste your time in downloading these. This could be one that you load in, you do some flying at, and you enjoy the scenery around it is just open US countryside. Look at that. Have a few flights from here to wherever you like. Another little sort of pathway going here. Maybe that was I don't know, a taxiway or a runway back in the day. I don't know. That's another, again, lovely little detail through the cornfield there. But yeah, you can, you know, download this free, do some flights, completely forget about it. It's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna sit there and take room up on your community folder. But I tell you what, I can tell you now, the EMB, the actual developers for this one, guys, have spent some time. They've spent some time doing all this, because it's I know now that it's just really, really, even if you're using default, even if you're not even touching custom models and building custom models, which again is going to take separately a whole lot of time, you know, out of the scenery editor itself. But in the scenery editor, this has took some time. It has, because obviously there once upon a time was a default airport here, and they would have had to get rid of all that. They would have had to start everything new. I mean, look at the road network as well. Now I don't know if this is I think it is default texturing, but it looks, again, it probably isn't part of what they've done, but I love the way it slopes down here. All the way down here. Look at this. Actual perimeter fencing, even though that has dropped slightly, but look at that. All the way down, in massive lake there. Lovely area to fly altogether. Really nicely done. I will go back to Montauk and take a look at the night lighting, guys, because again, I've been a bit lazy, not lazy, just forgetful with night lighting, and you know how distracted I get. Lovely little airfield, absolutely. I tell you, it's what they've done in Montauk, but on a just a bit bigger scale. And then look at the custom sign there. Look at that. That's beautiful, that. Little flowers and such around there, foliage. Nicely done. Let's have a little look at the night lighting, and as I say, I will jump back. What I will do is I will go to the next airport in Norway, and then we will take a look at we'll end the stream just with Montauk and in Mallorca with the night lighting, guys. I do apologize, but to be fair, none of you shouted out and told me to look at the night lighting. I blame you. Don't really blame you, guys, I'm just saying. And here is the night lighting. So we do have some edge lighting on the runways and taxiways. I mean, it's, you know, it's you know, it's not a blaze of lights. It's not full of lighting, but where the lighting is seems very realistic. Some of the lighting on the side of the buildings, you can see the lighting there illuminating the garage door, for example. Internal lighting, and again a lot of edge lighting around the walls. The exit sign on that door looks pretty cool as well. Not bad. Realistically lit, that's all that you want. To be honest with you, a lot of sceneries now look very, very good at night. The lighting in now, after a couple of updates, the lighting in 2024 finally does look acceptable, and it looks a lot better. And I believe the sim update 4, the night lighting over the cities is even better from what I've seen. None of that horrible yellow masking. There's a proper name for it. I forget how to pronounce it, but none of the horrible yellow masking over the cities. So there's that to look forward to, of course. There's some mods on flightsim.co that already fixed that. But yeah, night lighting and this looks fantastic. There doesn't seem to be anything that I would say looks too, you know, bloomed and in your face. Fantastic, it is. Just the lighting engine on its own in the simulator, all the reflections onto the aircraft, for example, down from each of the lights, really, really nice. So the last airport is in Norway, guys, which is one that I only installed very, very last minute. So we can have a little look at that. Where are we? Right, where are we, guys? I am getting too distracted. We are in Echo November Bravo Mike Voss Airfield. It's spelled Bomoen, which I believe is pronounced Bowen, as in the surname Bowen, like Jared Bowen, West Ham. That's an example I can use. I'm not a massive football fan, but I think that is how you pronounce it. I could be completely wrong, so if there's any Norwegian people watching and I've got it wrong, I apologise, but a quick little search just before the stream, apparently it is pronounced Bowen. Voss Airfield. And I was intrigued with this one. This one was something that I saw, like I said before, I saw a picture of it on flightsim.to, and I was intrigued because I sort of seeing all these custom buildings and pictures of the night lighting, for example, and I was like, okay, that looks pretty cool. Let's start here. Oh no, start here. And I'll have to remind myself to go back to the look of the other night lighting, guys. I do apologise that the night lighting's come at the end, and I again apologise for leaving it out at the start. This particular airfield is a 2020 and 2024 compatible airfield. Same as Mallorca at the start. The EMBcreation ones, they were specifically 2024. Montauk did have a 2020 edition. The last one, Highland, didn't have a 2020 edition, unfortunately. But yeah, this is Voss Airfield in Norway. So let's have a little look around this, because as I said, I was intrigued to see some of this. Now, the hangars, for example, well, the textures don't think I've loaded into some of these. This is what I'm saying. This never ever happened with 2024 before Sim Update 3. Textures would load up instantly. We do have a little bit of a pink texture going on here. Now, I don't think there's any dependencies rather for this one. Again, what I mean by dependencies is that it doesn't need any extra downloads like libraries of assets and models. I've tried to make sure that everything that I show with the airports is freewares rather, doesn't need any dependencies. I could be wrong though. No, so there's no dependencies listed with this one. So this light here, I'm not too sure what's going on. There's also some lights here that are also pink, so I do apologize for that, guys. Again, this is the first time I've actually loaded into this scenery. But I was intrigued with the screenshots, so let's have a little look. Now, straight off the bat, I would say the area around here is probably not the very best for satellite imagery, because we can see a lot popping up around. So I'd say it's not the very best for... I'm trying to mask some of the airfield out here. We do have it's a beautiful scenery around it, of course, lovely part of the world. We have this kind of quarry with some of a river going through, so that's quite nice onto your approach. But satellite imagery wise, I would say it's all right, but it's not the very best we've seen. Again, if you look here, like most of the others we've seen, possibly another runway once was here. It kind of looks like that, and it looks like either they're creating something else or possibly creating another runway. I don't know, but it gives that illusion, doesn't it? Kind of looks like that. Let's have a little look going from this end first. Now, what I did notice on the screenshots was this, which seemed to disappear when you get... Bit odd, but I've never ever seen this. It's almost like touchdown zones. Now, if I'm going to hazard a guess, this might be to do with the fact that I can see guys with parachutes on and skydiving outfits on. This might be... Don't know why they would land on the runway, but maybe they're required to. I would imagine they'd land on a field or something. But for me, I've not seen... Say a little touchdown zone, but I've never seen this on a runway. Actually, never. I don't know why. I don't know if this is something that you don't really see. Again, if anyone's in the live chat and knows what this is or is rewatching, please let me know in the comments. But possibly a touchdown zone for parachutists. Is that a word? Parachutists. Skydivers with parachutes on. Possibly, I don't know, but this seems like an actual, almost like a measuring tape, a ruler. I don't know, that's my guess, and I don't know how correct I am there, but kind of they would be aiming for the center here. And again, go wild in the chat and let me know in the comments if you're rewatching if that is the case. But we do have a skydiving center of some kind here. It is a shame to say. I'm gonna have to double check if there's anything in the download page about the pink lights, but nothing else. We don't have anything else majorly that's coming up as a pink texture. And some ground crew again. The ground crew looking a bit better in 2024 thanks to the sort of the avatars. Her hair looks a bit messed up. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the sun, the lighting on it. But ground crew looking a lot better. You can start to see some of the bits over here that I wanted to show off. It's as I say, I looked on the download page and I was like, wow, this looks pretty detailed. And I think this person has opted for the avatars, which do move. They actually look like they're breathing and moving. There you go. He's taking a sip of his coffee with the spoon still in. She's on WhatsApp. Never seen that before. Wow. It's readable as well. Derek Jones is typing, and Jenkins, we're on our way. Sophia Perry, stop moving. I'm trying to be nosy. She's actually moving away so I can't see her phone. Stop it. I don't know if this is something that you can put on the phones in the scenery editor. I don't know. They've sent a video, such a beauty. I don't know. Fantastic. Love it. Love to see that. Never seen that before. Some Cessna float planes here. Again, this hangar, I don't know if it's hard to say. I don't know if it's a custom one. But there is so many buildings and hangars in the scenery editor that it is really hard to identify. I would say it probably is. Here we go, some skydivers with their chutes on. Some of the avatar models here. I'm gonna see how you. I thought you turned to me then. That was weird. I'm gonna have to see how you get those and import them, put them into your scenery. Lovely little scooter. Again, more default and more detailed than those kind of boxy. These ones here, like this red car here, is really like one of the older ones. Like look like the 2020 ones, don't they? And then you've got vehicles like this. Do you think Microsoft are trying to tell us that they're going to put drivable vehicles in at some point? Like, listen, whatever you think about the land vehicles, the people that are creating boats and cars and vans and ATVs and stuff. The fact that there's a walking mode in, for me, I would like a way that we can. Because I don't have any issue with it having land vehicles. I would just love a way that we could possibly. You start getting into kind of the open world aspect here, but you could obviously, because there is people who are offering like avatar houses that you can pop into anywhere in the world. So if I had like a little house here, I could jump in a vehicle, drive along, and then get into my plane. But then we are talking about things getting open world, and it becomes less flight simulator. And for all the purists out there, it starts becoming it starts becoming a game. And listen, I've seen so many people say it's a game, it's not a flight sim. At the end of the day, it's over. Microsoft wanted this to be on Xbox. They also look like they're going to be getting it on PS5 at some point. I've heard as early as the end of this year. I don't know how true that is, but apparently in November, this is going to be available for PS5. Don't know how true that is. I'm just going off what I read. But yeah, it starts becoming more of a game and you start talking about things like that. Yeah, Maxim TV, good to see you. Really appreciate you popping in. Good to see you, mate. Orbex, yes, exactly. I never got my hands on that, but this is the likes of the Jurassic Park thing. The what was it called? I can't remember what the Halo aircraft was called. There was another one, wasn't there, from June? I think they added in like the Dragonfly type thing. There was one from Halo. There was a Dragonfly. So yeah. yeah, you would call it a game. It can still be a flight simulator. We have high fidelity aircraft we can put routes in. When we look at X-Plane 12, for example, yeah, absolutely a flight simulator. There's less of an emphasis on all of that. But, yeah. Jurassic Park, not something I was immediately interested in, but the fact that Orbeck spent time and made islands that don't even exist in the sim, and they're detailed enough for you to walk around, it's intriguing, but it takes the element of flight simming out. Obviously, you can fly around there, land on the airfields that they've created, the airports that they've created, helipads and stuff. If I ever get to it, I'd love to explore it. But what I was saying before is these detailed going back to it, these detailed vehicles just seem to be like, we've got these ones that you can put in the scenery. Very, very low poly. The shape of them is not modeled very well. And then you've got things like these, which are very, very detailed. Like, very detailed. You know, I don't know whether there's a plan to do that. I haven't got a clue, but instead of being able to just pick one vehicle, I guess it would be cool to kind of jump in a car, drive down to the airport, park it up somewhere, jump out with your avatar, and then get into your actual plane without it being two separate things that you load into the sim, which you can't currently do. Obviously, you could edit it in a video, for example, that makes it look like that. But yeah, it would be cool. Others probably wouldn't think it, but yeah. Rumors of PS5 launch makes sense. Yeah, why wouldn't they? They've hit, regardless of what you think about Microsoft Flight Simulator, I love it. I've enjoyed it for going on 6 years now. I had a tiny little go of FSX or FS 2004 back in the day on a friend's computer, because obviously I never had the opportunity of doing any flight sim until I think around 2016-ish, something like that. And even then I was doing, it was Aeroflight FS2 or 3, I think it was FS2. Then they started numbering it for the years, and now we've got FS4. I do actually want to take a look at Aeroflight FS4, but I want to look at it in VR. It's not a simulator. It's very basic. It's nowhere near on the level of something like X-Plane or this, but I want to look at the VR because I've tried the VR on FS2, and it's spot on. And FS4, Aeroflight FS4 is supposed to be amazing. Anyway, yeah, it makes sense. They really got, and I said this before somewhere, I can't remember where it was. It's so about Microsoft, whatever way you spin it, or whatever way you look at it, or whatever way you think about it, those guys have got a new generation of simmers and players who are interested not just in flight simulation, but in aviation as well. So with them putting it on Xbox, people can call it a game, but there's still a lot of flight simming in there, and they've been able to get people who have never ever tried any kind of flight simming before, who weren't necessarily into aviation, who are now going out and even doing plane spotting in real life. I know, I've seen it on various social medias. I've read it on Reddit. I've read it on other forums. They've made their player base absolutely massive by bringing it out onto Xbox. They can only, why wouldn't they put it on PS5? Why wouldn't they? 2024 is more console appears logically for them to go down the road of revenue. I think it's actually got something for everyone now. I think it has. They've done great job with the helicopters. And yeah, it starts going into game territory when people are making drivable cars and drivable boats. But you know what? I spent some time in one of those drivable boats, and it was so bloody fun. So whatever way you swing it, it's called Microsoft Flight Simulator. If you think it's a game, yeah, it will it will resonate as a game. But by no means is it something like flying a plane in GTA or flying a plane in any other game that has you flying planes in. It's not Call of Duty where you get or Battlefield where you get to fly a fighter jet. There's more to it, guys. Let's be honest here. Do you know what I mean? Exactly, yeah, exactly. We still get what we want, albeit there's issues that we encounter. But listen, when do we not encounter issues? When do we get a game that releases? Sorry, a game. Where do we get any kind of software entertainment product that releases that is spot on? Very, very rarely. You know, this has got nothing related, but look at Cyberpunk. It started off at one of the worst launches in existence, and now it's one of the best reviewed games. No Man's Sky got absolutely crucified. It's again now one of the biggest space sim games you can get. You know. Yeah, exactly, Mag. Exactly, Mag. It's an escape for whether you want to go and do some messing about in a plane, you just want to go up in a Cessna and have a little fly around and spot some landmarks, or you want to get down and serious and do some actual airline routes, online, VAT sim, whatever. Most Steam games come out as alpha and beta nowadays. Exactly. Look at this. We've actually got. I don't think I've seen a sort of a scenery use a hot air balloon. So we got a bit off track there, guys. I do apologise. We're at 3 o'clock now. So looking at this is Voss Airfield. I think Bomoen is how you are supposed to pronounce it, but again, could be wrong. It's a fantastic airfield. Again, this is available for free from flightsim.co. It's linked in the description below. And this was the area of the airfield that I saw online, and I was like, wow, this is quite cool. Look at this. There's a climbing wall. There's, what it looks like. It's used by skydivers. Really, really cool. Children's playground over there. An actual climbing wall, all created for the scenery. Really, really cool. But like I said, it's a freeware. It's been made by a community founder. This one is from ehindur or Hind. I think it's ehindur. It's in the description below, guys. I've done the obviously the download page link, the name of the scenery, and also the creator after that as well, so you can look that up as well. If you do go ahead and download any of these sceneries that I've mentioned, guys, what I always ask is that you leave some feedback. Try not be negative again. It's a freeware scenery. Please leave some nice words on their download page. Most creators of most pro freeware creators, the guys who are creating loads of freeware, do end up doing a PayPal or a donations link. Listen, this isn't me saying leave a donation to them. If you can afford it and you're comfortable with doing it, leave a donation if you think it's worth it. But look at the e-bikes. Look at this. I don't think these are imported. I really don't think these are imported. I think these are available in the SDK, which I'm going to have to try and find them. I'm going to have to reach out to a couple of developers and see where these are hiding. They could be actually imported from somewhere else. That is a possibility, but I don't think they are. We've got people walking around, and look at this. Look at the sky. Look at the wall climbing structure. It's really nice. Again, have to say it, but these freewares are. And again, I'm gonna have to find out where the the sort of the animated avatars are hiding as well, because they're pretty cool to have in the sceneries. It's really, really nice, and I will show you the night lighting. We will go over our normal sort of scheduled time for the live stream. It is what it is today, but look at that children's play area with a little sort of fake aircraft with the landing gear down as well, all there. The slide, some sunflowers. It's really well done. Little tire swings. Look at that. Let's go up. Sit in the front of the plane there. Let me. I don't know, just stopping in the two. Whee, down the slide. And then look at these guys here, these skydivers with all their parachutes and backpacks on, all having a little meeting before they go and jump from 20,000 feet. You madmen. Really nicely detailed, guys. Really is. I tell you what. And the thing is, Flighting.to has got so many, nearly daily uploads, and you get things like this. Now, this is what the night lighting looks like on this. The wall, this is what I sort of picture of. The wall is all color coded up and lit up. It's really cool. I would say, yeah, I don't know how you get rid of these. These are kind of a bygone of 2020. These floating orb lights, I used to call them. You don't see them as much now on 2024. But look at this. Look at this little bar down here. All lit up inside. People having a drink. Look at that. Oh, wow. They're actually like string lights, like I don't know, like bunting lights, like Christmas lights almost. And it's all reflecting correctly underneath here. Really top. Really, really nice. It's just a shame that some of these side lights on the hangers are pink. And it seems like they are also lighting up pink as well on here. I'll have a little look on the product page and see if any... on the download page rather, than see if anyone else is having it. Look at these more colourful rainbow lights around the edge. It's a fun airfield. They've creators done really well in doing this as a freeware, because honestly, I've got a large chunk of these freeware sceneries now could easily pass as payware. Like, I say it a lot, but it's true. They could easily pass as payware, because I'm trying to compare others that I've seen as a paid product, and there's some freeware out there that is just it blows them out the water. And it's a shame to say it, because listen, people spend time in creating these sceneries, but it happens. Look at Duxford, for example. Duxford is just on another level. Oh, yes, I need to check out that. I do. Oh, I apologize, Kaz. Or Kazor, sorry, but Kaz, if you don't mind. I need to check out that one. I really do need. Let me have a little look. Have you got a link at all? Let me just have a look. Let's see if I can find it. It's UKKK. It's very easy to remember. UKKK. K. No, too many K's. See if I can find it. Is it? Oh, it's your scenery. Okay, that makes sense. It makes sense. I would usually say don't plug your own stuff, but in this instance, I'm going to allow it purely because, well, it's a freeware scenery and you're not exactly promoting another video of any kind. But it's your scenery. Okay, fair enough. This isn't an old one either. Oh no, you update it. It's been updated in the last 8 days. I'm going to have to look at it though, because it looks like you've done an amazing job. I'll be very, very honest. Looking at these screenshots, my friend. This is this is pretty substantial. It's a large airport as well. To be very, very honest, my friend, we might have to do a whole... Okay, next time I do a freeware live stream, this will either take priority in terms of it might even get its own live stream. Mag, good to see you. Really appreciate it. Thanks for coming in and watching. Really do appreciate it. Again, if you're not subbed, my friend, or anything like that, consider it. If I don't know if you've jumped into my Discord or any social media. I think maybe, Mag, you're on TikTok. I think I've seen your stuff on TikTok and other places as well. I apologize if obviously you've been onto Discord, or just there's so many names that pop up, and obviously sometimes people don't use their actual screen name, they use their own personal stuff. But thank you so much, really appreciate it. Already done now. I appreciate it, mate. As I say, I've most likely spoke, or yeah, I've seen you on a couple. I think possibly Instagram, but definitely TikTok. But like I said, I appreciate it, mate. Really do. Thanks for coming in and spending some time in the chat. Not here to self-promote, mate. Just no, not at all. No. I know you're not. I know. I know that, mate. I know. Yeah, I know. Because otherwise you would have started putting links in there if you were doing all that. No, I know you're not here to self-promote. Absolutely fine, mate. Absolutely fine. No, yeah. Appreciate it, mate. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Good rest of your weekend. I guess appreciate it. Kaz, yeah, by the looks of it on the product page, I mean, I don't always like to take the product page at face value, but I tell you what, let me download it as soon as I finish this live stream, and let me take a look at it, and let me have a little look at do this, because this might not be a case of a live stream. This might be something else entirely. So yeah, let me go and actually download this now, so it starts downloading. 2024 edition. That's downloading now, mate. I appreciate it. And listen, self-promotion in this instance with the freeware and the community creators getting involved in the live stream and wanting to share their freeware, I'm absolutely fine with that. In terms of other streams and other videos and channels, there's a time and place to do that. My Discord, for example, you can go and self-promote on there. You can go and self-promote on many other Discords as well. In this instance, it's a freeware airport that you want me to check out. I understand if it's yours, if it's someone else's. I don't mind. I'd like to share it, and I'm assuming others who are watching, or others who are going to watch, will like to see it as well. But let me have a look at it. It's downloading. I'll install it. Downloading now. I'll install it and have a look at it. What we will do now, guys, is we'll just shoot back over to Montauk to end the stream, and obviously Palma, because I realised I didn't take a look at the night lighting, which again I fully apologise for. You know what I'm like. I get so... Hang on, what was it? I'm going to forget how it was spelt, aren't I now? Or the code for it, even though we've not been there long. Let's have a little look. There it is. Again, this one not being a massive airport, so in terms of night lighting, it's not going to be massive. And again, apologies that I didn't do this before, but we'll head back to Palma at the end, go and check out that, and we'll end the live stream there. While we do this, guys, if you have enjoyed the stream, and if you are re-watching the video, video on demand, the stream on demand, please leave a like if you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, go and check out more of my freeware live streams, freeware videos from back in the day. I do have more coming. Freeware is always constantly evolving and getting better and better. Again, I'll say better and better, but they are getting more detailed and more almost to a payware level. Some are payware level. Let's have a little look at Montauk at around 5 in the morning here in New York, or New York State exactly. And again, it's not a massive airfield at all, but again, just like the Highland scenery, that was EMBcreations' newest one, very realistically lit up. Runway does have some edge lighting, and some, by the looks of it, it possibly does have night operations here. I do like the sign here with the lighting. We have got a floating rock, but which definitely does need this. Guys, EMB definitely remove this rock because it's not actually shining on the light. I mean, we are getting some lighting on it, I guess, but yeah, the rock's taking all of the limelight. We've got a comedian. But yeah, it's lovely. Like we did before, we had a little walk through the sand dunes and then down to the bench at the end of the runway, which was pretty cool. And again, I don't know if you can do that in real life, but I tell you what, wouldn't mind doing that. Anyone want to fly me out to Montauk, you're very welcome to. The light here does actually fully illuminate the Montauk Airport sign very, very nicely. And then the bay area with the boats, all lovely, all again very nice, all lit up to where I would expect it to be lit up from, and some of the boats have even got some lights on inside as well. Some fishing boats there as well. Very, very nice. Let's jump to our last. Again, we're going back to Palma, but I will put this into the chapters. Don't you worry about it. Massive thank you to everyone who has been watching the live stream today. Again, the idea for the live streams going forward will be for a later evening, 6 or 7 p.m. UK time. Any changes in that will obviously be told through my social media and Discord, and obviously I do schedule my live stream, so it's very easy for people to check the times and when everything's happening. But yeah, massive thanks to everyone who's come in, and tell you what, it loads quite quickly into Palma, doesn't it? Love to see it. Love to see it. Obviously, we'll spend the last, I would say 10 minutes or so in Palma at night. Let's have a little look. And this is the night lighting for Palma. Car park looks very well lit up. I would say edge lighting, runway lighting is very nice. I think most of this is part of I think, to be honest with you, most of it always is part of the normal scenery editor. The aircraft here, this isn't FSLTL. This will actually be just like traffic. It just runs in the background. It will just load up to any airport that you're at. So that's quite cool. You can just get rid of the traffic from the toolbar. Night lighting looks spot on. Again, nothing. I tend to look out for anything that's overly ballooned or just overly bright, where I think it looks a bit off. But again, I don't review freeware. I take a look at it and look at them. If there's sort of any anomalies, then yeah, you'll see them, but it's freeware, guys. The creators absolutely is making nothing by doing this. The internal lighting in there though looks really, really nice, especially when you start looking through here. More of those sort of floating orb lights over there, but the interiors is actually, you know, there's night lighting in the interiors. I think the apron lights have got like a fake light texture to them, and then obviously there is like a lighting node or a lighting source coming from near them, which obviously replicates the lighting in real life and where it's actually showing. Again, the terminal building here has got like a blue facade, like a blue structure to it, and again the interior lighting looks really, really nice. You can actually see the ceiling lights reflecting on the floor. But again, guys, I've got a pre-recorded freeware video coming out very soon in the next week or so. Another unboxing, and just more live streams to come as well. There's some products coming up that I will be showcasing on the channel. I have requested to live stream Cape Town by ENBcreations, and also obviously they've also announced that they're doing the Antarctic runway Wolfgang as a free product as well. Now I don't know if it's a free product in the sense of you get it free with Cape Town, which I don't think it is. I think it's just completely free. They are not close in proximity, but obviously Cape Town's there. I would say it was the closest main airport to the Antarctic runway. So I'll be taking a look at those on a live stream when they release. Obviously, I will be making sure to my best ability that I am live streaming ENBcreations Manchester Airport when that comes along, and doing some kind of pre-recorded video for that. That's a big release for me personally, because Manchester is, apart from Liverpool's my local. Manchester is my closest international airport. So it's very important that I show that on my channel as much as possible. Manchester, when ENBcreations finally release that as well. There's a lot coming up, guys. I am going to end the stream there, so I do thank everyone that's come in. Again, everything's linked in the description below. Make sure that you leave some nice comments for our freeware creators. If you're interested in any Logitech G products, including the Logitech Pro X2, the Lightspeed, the wireless headset, I have linked all of the Logitech G Play Days links in the description below as well, guys. A big thank you to them, because obviously they're giving me opportunity to work with them, which is a big thing for me. Massive thank you to WinWing for sending me some of their products that I've been able to finally unbox. Apologies it's taking me that long to do that. Loads more to come. All I can say is subscribe, get the notifications on, and just keep an eye on my Discord and social media. That's all I can say, guys. I've got more to come, and I'm enjoying it right now. I'm really in my element. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, the live stream, it's going to be coming out as a video on demand, meaning you can catch up on it. I will stick some chapters in the description right away as soon as I'm able to get back onto the stream and watch it through and get the times in there. Thank you. I will see you again very soon. Thanks for joining me today.